So let's start with the basic question, Bill. The Attorney General has decided that military commissions are now legitimate forums. They've been cleaned up and passed constitutional muster. In fact, he's going to use them for some trials. Why do you think he decided to send Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and these 4 other defendants to New York City?
I have no idea, because I think it's just crazy. First of all, did he make the decision or did the President? I mean,
well, the White House says he made it.
Right. And let's talk about that for 1 second. This is a decision with huge national security and foreign policy implications. One of the rationales for the decision is a foreign policy rationale. The world will be impressed to see American justice at work. This isn't the Attorney General's decision to make. The President needs to take responsibility for this decision. This is a presidential-level decision. The Attorney General's statement says, well, I discussed it with the Secretary of Defense. What about the CIA director? Is he comfortable with the kinds of things that could be exposed at this trial, as were exposed at the 1995 trial of the blind sheikh? So I don't know why he did this. I think it is, I'm told there were bitter debates within the interagency task force that did this. The people, the prosecutors of the military tribunals are not confident that the evidence will hold up to convict in a civilian court. There are huge problems with this. These guys were not given their Miranda warnings. They were under intense interrogation. Everything that happened after that may not be admitted. Holder says, well, there's evidence that hasn't been made public that assures me that he'll get a conviction. I don't buy it. God knows, I hope if they go ahead, they convict them and sentence them to capital punishment, to the death penalty. But I'm very worried that this will not happen.
Mara, when I talked about all the obvious the possible downsides with Senator Reid, I said, what's the upside? He said it shows to the world who we are and what American justice is. Is that what you think is driving the Obama administration in this decision? Not a partisan, but a political statement to the world. We're different, and especially we're different than the previous administration.
Well, you know, Eric Holder was asked about this on PBS. He said symbolism was a part of it. He said a lot of factors came into play, but the fact that the American justice system can try terrorists, can convict them, it's happened before. Apparently 100% of terrorism defendants that are tried in New York where the targets were domestic have been convicted. So I think that the Attorney General would not be going forward with this unless he had a high level of confidence that he could get a conviction, and that this would be a process that would showcase the American justice system, which can and has tried terrorist suspects successfully in the past.
Liz, what do you worry about most? The security threat to New York, the possible danger that intelligence secrets will be disclosed, the possibility one of these guys will get off, or something else? What's your biggest concern?
I think it is absolutely unconscionable that we are a nation at war and that the President of the United States simultaneously is denying our troops on the ground in Afghanistan the resources that they need to prevail to win that war, while he ushers terrorists onto the homeland. He's going to put these terrorists into a courthouse that is 6 blocks from where over 2,000 Americans were killed on the worst attack in history on the American homeland. He's going to give them a public platform where they can spew venom, where they can preach jihad, where they can reach out and recruit other terrorists. And it is totally unnecessary. When the Attorney General says that he's bringing them to justice, he's ignoring the fact that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed asked 11 months ago to be executed for Allah. He asked to plead guilty and be executed. We should have said, all right, you've got it. Instead, we're bringing him and his cohorts to America. We're giving them the constitutional rights of American citizens. And the Attorney General throughout the day on Friday talked about this as a crime. He said in that same interview Maura is talking about that this will be treated like any other crime.
But what about...
There's no question but that the Obama administration now has, in a completely indefensible way, taken us back to a pre-9/11 treatment of terrorism.
But what about the argument
crime.
that the Bush administration had all of these people for 8 years? They got a total of 3 convictions in 8 years in military commissions.
The Bush administration worked very hard to put together military commissions. The first round of military commissions that they put together, which were based on the precedent of the FDR military commissions, full constitutional precedent approved by the Supreme Court in the 1940s, were rejected by the Supreme Court. The administration then put together a new set of military commissions approved by Congress, and they have held these guys at Guantanamo now, where they are presenting no threat at all to the United States.
3 convictions in 8 years is not much of a record.
Yeah, but I think that if you ask the family members of these people, I mean, you saw the family members, for example, of Daniel Pearl. You know, they do not want to see the United States there's no legal, no national security, no constitutional reason why we should be giving these people a megaphone from which they can recruit future jihadis from which they can mock the victims of these attacks and from which they can really put the U.S. government on trial. They'll ask for access to classified information, and they'll get access to a lot of classified information in the civilian court system.
Juan?
Look, I think the delay has been intolerable. I think, in fact, something should have been done with these people one way or the other, but the Obama administration actually is not establishing any broad new format. I mean, they're bringing these men to trial, and I think if you believe in the Constitution, if you believe in the rule of law in this country, you would say these people should be brought to trial. And clearly, Mayor Bloomberg in New York and New York public officials, the legal officials, in terms of the people who would prosecute, and the people, the U.S. Marshal's Office, have all said they can handle this situation in New York. But what's key here, to my mind, is that you would say not to the world, but to America, that we have the capacity to try these people for crimes committed against Americans in an American court and win a conviction. Apparently, there is no doubt here. Remember, the Sheikh Khalid Mohammed has said he not only killed Daniel Pearl, but he has taken responsibility for 9/11 before any of the enhanced waterboarding, torture, all that.
The issue is not
let me say a word about that. He didn't get read his Miranda rights. It's not clear those statements can be admitted, Juan. It is just not true that there's no doubt. Let's talk about these cases everyone cites. Musawi. That trial was a circus, A. B, he was arrested in America. He was arrested in Minnesota in August of 2001. That's why he's the 20th hijacker. The FBI got him before they read him his rights when they arrested him. They had a clean chain of evidence. They had not this. Where was Khalid Sheikh Mohammed arrested? In Pakistan, in a pre-dawn raid. He wasn't read his rights. It's going to be. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard to convict these people. 4 people were tried. Now there's one case more like this: the embassy bombers from 1998. 4 of them were arrested, brought to the U.S. Arrested by the FBI, and so they tried to do, American-style procedure. Brought to the U.S. and tried in New York in 2001. They were convicted.
Right.
The jury refused to give them capital punishment. They're in jail.
After
That
the
could happen this time.
Wait,
Liz, wait.
But
Ron, go ahead. You can't double team him.
Thank you. But what I just want to say, in this case, what you have here is an opportunity for people to hear the evidence. This is a public case. The military tribunals, and by the way, overwhelmingly, the people still at Guantanamo are going to still be in military tribunals and commissions, not brought into public trial.
But brought to the U.S. for that.
The Justice Department made a decision in this case, and Eric Holder has said he is confident of winning a conviction bill. So he's made a decision in this case, and what he has said very clearly is that what evidence exists that's not going to be exempted because of possibly non-reading of Miranda rights and the like is sufficient to win that conviction.
Mara, you get that? Mara, you get the last word.
The only point I want to make about bills about the death penalty, now Eric Holder says that's what he's going to ask for. Khalil Sheikh Mohammed wants the death penalty. There's an argument to be made. Why give him what he wants? Why make him into a martyr? Why not lock him up for the rest of his life?
Look,
which is exactly what he doesn't want.
Convictions, though. The issue is not getting convictions because we got a conviction in 1993. And after we got that conviction, we were attacked at our embassies in East Africa. The USS Cole was attacked. And we were attacked here on 9/11. The problem is that when you signal to the world and when you shape your policy so that you're treating terrorism as law enforcement, the tools are completely insufficient to keep the nation safe.
Let me just say,